Hey guys, so today I look like I have no hair except for this little thing here. Yeah, that's a little bit, I guess that's less concerning. Instagram, Twitter, follow me on it, it's a fun time. Also subscribe because we're about 8k from 500k, and at 500k we're making a second channel, guys. We've been through this. Hit that bell, give this video a thumbs up, do everything you need to do, and that's it. That's all I have to say. We also have just a lot of stories and I'm having to split things up because then I don't want my videos to be an hour long. I don't make videos quickly enough to cover everything that I want to cover, which is so just like, I panic. There's so much to talk about and not enough time. Oh, the stresses of spilling the tea. There are a few older stories, a few newer stories. We'll just get into it, honestly. So I read an article recently. I don't know if you guys know that Brexit is a thing that's been happening for like 3 years now. And we finally left the EU. I say this as if I was looking forward to it. I sure as hell was not, because I am not a holder of a British passport or a British citizenship. So I am always at risk of getting kicked out. But then I read an article the other day, and if you don't know, Brexit was kind of aimed at getting rid of immigrants, well, anyone that isn't British or an owner of a British passport or a British citizenship. So now they're gonna have new British passports because some of the countries in the EU are now demanding that Britain has a visa when they want to come over. So like, you've just yourself over when you want to go on holiday. Yeah, so British people are going to get new British passports, and allegedly they're being made in Poland. The irony of that statement. You had Brexit to get rid of, amongst other people, Polish people, and then you go and make your passports in Poland. I don't know if this is true. It was in an article. It is right now, to me, alleged information, but if it's true, then that is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. Also, one of the only British chocolate companies, called Cadbury, a few years back moved their factories to Poland. So now you're gonna have to pay extra to import your own chocolate into your own country. Now that we've done the political stuff that people get very angry about, now we're gonna get into the YouTube stuff. Megan Rinks is a lifestyle beauty person, well, at least was. She doesn't film those videos anymore now. She has a podcast called Don't Blame Me, which I am a very big fan of, and she recently started talking about the fact that her second channel was hacked, as well as her main channel. Her main channel was recently hacked, where if you went on it, it said this channel doesn't exist, but then you could watch the videos that she was uploading, so she had like access to upload on the channel, but then there was some kind of an error with it. But then we found out that her second channel, which was apparently a vlog channel, got hacked, and it was sold on this like forum. It spoke about how many subs she has lost since they hacked her, which is about 60,000. I don't know if she was losing subs before she was hacked, or if she has been losing subs because she's hacked and because they're uploading their own content on her channel. And YouTube seems to believe that they have done everything and that the channel isn't hacked anymore, when it literally has a whole other name. Megan Rinks tweeted out saying, "Are you kidding me, YouTube creators? My channel was hacked, rebranded, and they're uploading content." A lot of people replied to that. They showed her support. And then once Shane Dawson like came out and quote retweeted that tweet, then YouTube creators were like, "Oh, we have to take this seriously now. Okay, right, you're still hacked, sorry." We didn't realize. Yeah, I don't know how on your own platform you guys don't know that someone's being hacked. I just don't. I don't know. Next, Jeffree Star came for Huda Beauty, because Huda released these 3 palettes, which are actually, okay, a lot of people are saying they're copying someone. They've been making these palettes from like the start. So they had the Obsessions palettes, which were like all different shades, and they had this like gem at the front. Then they had the Nude Obsessions palettes, which were the 3 for different skin tones, and now they have 3 pastel ones, because I don't know if you know, pastel's like in right now because we're back in the 2000s, and I'm not angry about it because I love my pastel shades. So no, I don't know why people weren't outraged about all the other little £9 palettes, but they're upset about these ones. And Colourpop's not the only one, because Colourpop's involved in this. Colourpop isn't the only brand that does the £9 eyeshadow palettes. They've been a thing for years. So I don't know why that's kind of like a thing that they're getting angry about now, when she's been making these for a while now, like since the start of her brand. But obviously Jeffree Star came in clutch, and when she posted, I think it was Trend Mood posted these pastel Huda palettes, Jeffree Star commented back saying, "Congratulations Colourpop on your new release." And then Colourpop tweeted out saying, "Get our new pastel palettes," and they posted their 3 similar looking pastel palettes that you can get for $36 altogether, whereas the Huda ones are I think $27 per palette. They are very good. I don't know about these pastel ones, don't quote me on that, but I have her Nude Obsessions palettes. I have all 3 of them, the light, medium and dark, and they are stunning. They're very good. They just grab it easy on the go, you know, you pack it, you travel, you have all your palettes, you have all your nudes, you have a black shade in there or a brown or whatever you need. It's a good palette, I'm not gonna lie. But I know the community has a little bit of a problem with Huda because she's been caught copying people before, which I don't actually know where I stand on the other story. I remember there was a whole situation where she allegedly copied Beauty Bakery, which is an indie brand. I don't know if it's considered indie anymore, but it definitely was at the time, where Beauty Bakery has their own, the whole aesthetic is basically bakery stuff, bakery products. product. So when they had their powder, it was marketed as like a flower looking thing. So it was in like a paper bag and it was very cute. And then Huda came out with baking powders for baking. So she obviously, her whole promo pictures were around baking, but then the actual product wasn't packaged as a baking aesthetic product. So I think it was just the marketing that she did as a baking thing, because she created these products for baking. As in, if you don't know what baking is in the makeup industry, it is where you pack on a lot of powder in certain areas that you want to highlight, and it kind of keeps you matte. I used to do it when I was younger, when I was like 15, because I thought I had oily skin, or I thought that's something I needed to do. I looked like a mess, but also it took me like 5 hours to get off my makeup, because it was just, it could get through war, I'm telling you that. Her product wasn't packaged as like a bakery aesthetic product. The only thing that was to do with the bakery was her marketing photos, her promotional photos, which makes sense considering she's advertising this as a baking powder. It kind of, you put two and two together and you think, oh, baking powder, I'm gonna do my marketing photos, my promotional photos as a baking product. So I don't actually know where I stand on that. I think baking isn't like a new concept. So I don't know, I wasn't as upset about it as Jeffree Star was and a few drama channels. I remember there was some outrage regarding this and Jeffree Star called her out in his video. So yeah, they've had beef for a while. And then she apparently blocked him, and now he's called her out again for copying Colourpop, which I don't think what Colourpop does is a new concept, which is just making 9-pan palettes in different shades. It's good, it looks cool, it's affordable. If you were thinking about getting the Huda palettes and you don't mind the quality of Colourpop, just get Colourpop. They're so much cheaper. But I don't think one is copying the other, is what I'm saying. That was a long rant for no reason. Anyway, Jaclyn Hill is back. People looked at her old palettes and they remember them being advertised as cruelty-free and vegan. Actually, Jaclyn Hill tweeted out saying that she would never ever consider making a product that isn't cruelty-free. So bearing that in mind, now apparently her like first palette, the first big 30-pan palette has been taken off the vegan list on Morphe without any warning whatsoever. And apparently that's because her palettes now have carmine in them, and it's basically insects, like bugs that are used as dyes for mainly red pigments, but you can get them synthetically if you don't want to do bugs in your eyeshadow palettes. So some people don't consider this non-cruelty free because they don't care about insects or bugs, but they're very important for our ecosystem. So if you're going to be cruelty free or vegan, then you should probably consider how bugs come into play. And some people are very angry about this and saying that if you have insects used and killed for your eyeshadow palettes, then you can't consider yourself cruelty free because that is cruel, which goes against the whole cruelty free thing. She also, I remember T-Spill tweeted out saying, where is that brushes video that she said she would film? So when she was releasing her palette, she made 2 videos on the palette, and then she said she would make a separate video on the brushes, allegedly. That's what T-Spill is saying. I trust the judgment there. And there is no brushes video, and everything's already, you know, been sold and promoted and stuff, and she hasn't filmed the video since her launch, which I'm waiting for when the next video is filmed, because she has not come out with another video since she launched her palette and brushes. Not saying anything, but you know. Jake Paul has been caught lying about his fight with KSI. So in a recent interview, Jake Paul said that the fight is going to be around like summertime, and then Bread Batch posted about that, and KSI responded in the comments saying that's impossible because I'm going to festivals, I'm performing at festivals around the time that he's saying we're having a fight. So Jake Paul is now just like really running with this whole KSI thing, and I think it's giving him a lot of clout, so he's just running with it and spewing lies that he's hoping might stick. And like if he says it, I think maybe he thought if he says it, KSI's just gonna be like, yeah sure, but it didn't work out because KSI is booked for that moment. So Jake Paul lying is what's happening here. Are we surprised? No. Oh, regarding Jake Paul, Tana Mongeau. Apparently Tana Mongeau is coming out with a book that I wasn't aware of, and it's not in promotion anywhere, but I heard it in like someone's YouTube video. And apparently she's coming out with a book. Someone said it. Someone put it out there. So if she's coming out with a book, what the is she gonna write in there? I'm not saying anything, I'm not judging Tana Mongeau, but she has been very vocal about not being into the educational system and not being into school and stuff. So I don't know why she is the one that should be writing a book, if that's even true. I mean, I heard it somewhere. I don't even know where I heard it because I watch so much content on YouTube that I don't know where I heard it, but apparently she's coming out with a book. Jay Station, if you don't know who Jay Station is by now, don't know where you've been. Jay Station is someone who waits until someone passes away, a celebrity, and then makes literally a few hours later a 3 a.m. video on them. If you don't know what 3 a.m. video is, they're like notorious now. 3 a.m. videos are basically where he pretends to call that deceased person at 3 a.m. and talk to them, and then create some kind of a rumor. So for example, he called Mac Miller at 3 a.m. and apparently Mac Miller spoke about Ariana Grande, and then XXX passed away and he called him and he said something, and then, you know, just every time someone passes away he does that. And recently he posted a video where he says he's quitting YouTube. No, not quitting. What? He's quitting making those videos on YouTube because he realizes that he doesn't need to make those his videos anymore to get views, which tragic that he's actually got that much of a loyal fan base from basically exploiting people's deaths. Like, great, incredible. I'm glad that's where we are. That's the point we're at on YouTube. So his girlfriend really took the biggest hit with that, like, just mentally, but he also didn't like communicate with his family. In general, I think I'm glad that he's acknowledged how unhealthy his mindset was and is. I'm saying is because I haven't seen a change in him. I'm waiting for, like, maybe in a year's time we can say, oh wow, look, J Station has actually changed. But right now I'm just saying his mindset on YouTube is disgusting, and it's actually just sad that that's how he thought he was going to get fame on YouTube, which he actually did. That's the sad part, is he did. Also, his channel is demonetized. I saw it in articles. I don't know if they're talking about his main channel or if it's the second channel that he was supposed to make, where he pretended his girlfriend got hit by a car and died, and he made like multiple videos, and then he called her at 3 a.m, which that whole situation was too much for me, because you can do that to people that you don't know personally and feel kind of a lack of empathy there if you're a sociopath, but to do that to someone that you actually know, like, you're pretty much just wishing death upon your girlfriend. Because I just don't want to, I would never say that just in case I jinx it for some reason. I don't know, I'm just not okay with that. And he did that to promote their new channel together. So I'm not sure if the demonetization is for his main channel where he did most of the nasty stuff, or if YouTube just refused to monetize his second channel, because that's something they're allowed to do. So to get a new channel monetized, you need I believe 4,000 hours of watch time on there and 1,000 subscribers, and YouTube has every right to not give you that monetization when you apply for it if you make videos against the community guidelines. So I'm pretty sure they could do that if they really wanted to. YouTube has been recommending me this one channel, and I've been enjoying the content really and truly. So it's a girl that has a channel called Swell Entertainment, and she made 2 videos that I watched that were recommended to me. One of them was the Chamberlain coffee video, where she ordered Chamberlain coffee and then she tried it out, and she had a lot to say. So first of all, Emma Chamberlain came out with coffee and tea bags kind of a situation, and she made a video where she showed how she uses those tea bags, which I was kind of iffy about, because she makes a cold brew, which fair enough, but she uses 3 tea bags in one cold brew, which maybe makes her like 2 coffees, so that's like 1 day's worth of coffees, and then she adds creamer to it and ice and all the extra stuff that you need to pay for, obviously. And the coffee bags are not cheap. I forgot how expensive they are, but here I'll put, they're not cheap. They're not going to save you money that you would normally save by making coffee at home versus buying it in like Starbucks. The difference there between a Starbucks coffee and Emma Chamberlain coffee isn't huge enough for me to go through the whole process of ordering it, waiting for it, and all that good stuff. I have a coffee machine, and we buy, you know, coffee beans, and that's it. Like, we save a lot of money on that. Versus me going out and buying 3 coffees a day in Starbucks and spending like 10 quid on it, you know? So she ordered the coffee, and it took her ages, like weeks, to get that coffee. And if you need coffee, this seems very inconvenient, because you'd have to buy coffee way ahead of time to receive it, versus going to a shop and buying a bunch of coffee beans and having them now, like when you need them. So she waited weeks. She apparently got in touch with customer service on like 7 occasions, and only once did they actually reply to her. So customer service, not incredible. I understand that this is a new brand, and they are going to have some issues with customer service and shipping and prices, and because they're not making things necessarily in bulk the way big companies do, the prices will be a little steep. Steeped coffee, right? Is that what's called? Steep? Wow. So yeah, she got in touch once, and then they sent it to her, and apparently they didn't actually have the coffee beans when people made the orders. That's why it was taking so long. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. And then she received the coffee, and if you're thinking that she was like, oh my god, this is the best coffee ever, I'm so glad I waited, no. She was actually kind of disappointed in the coffee. She said it has a very like weak taste. It's kind of bland, and it's not worth the money that she paid for it, and not worth the wait time and the stress of having to get in touch with customer service to buy a coffee. Like, coffee shouldn't be this stressful, you know? Unless you're me, and coffee makes you very stressed out because it makes your already very high rate even higher. So yeah, that's the first Emma Chamberlain update, where Emma Chamberlain basically is not having the best business right now, and I'm not seeing many people speak out about it. I was very intrigued. I watched a lot of those testing out Emma Chamberlain coffee, and there aren't many like incredible reviews. Like, there aren't a lot of horrible ones, but no one is like, wow, this is the best coffee I've ever drank, I need more of this. Everyone's just kind of like, this is a lot of effort and money for something that is kind of average, and you can get it with very cheap coffee from the supermarket. So I've heard very like mixed reviews and kind of subpar reviews of Emma Chamberlain coffee, and that doesn't excite me, because when I first saw Emma Chamberlain coming out with coffee, I thought she is the perfect person to have a coffee brand, and the fact that they came in tea bags, I thought it was just so on brand. It was so like interesting and original, and I know that it's not like people have made these tea bag coffee things before, but you don't see it a lot, and I thought it was very interesting. Then I saw the prices, and I was like, okay. And then I saw the shipping prices and I was like, okay. And then I saw these videos and now I'm just disappointed because I expected so much. I think when you have very high standards and expectations for someone, anything they do below that kind of disappoints you. So this coffee is probably not horrible. This coffee is probably something very average that you are not going to complain about. It's something that you get from a coffee shop half the time and you're like, yeah, this fixed what it needed to fix. It did what it needed to do. It's coffee, it works. But because it's Emma Chamberlain and because this is such an original idea and because of the marketing and everything and the way she spoke about it, you expect so much that anything below that is just kind of disappointing. So I just don't think it's necessarily worth the price. But if you're a huge Emma Chamberlain fan and you're a huge coffee fan, maybe this is something for you. But I just don't know how long I could keep up like having to order my coffee like 2 months before I need it and then paying that much for it, you know? I don't think it's very like sustainable for me. Another video she made is a Lilly Singh video, which I was actually very intrigued by. I think that video blew up for her. It's on a few 100,000 views now, which I'm very happy about. It was a very good video where she basically applied to be in Lilly Singh's late night shows audience, and she was taken on and she was in a few of those shows as the audience. And as you would expect, the audience is directed to clap and laugh and do things when they need to be done. There are even people that are paid to be audience members, and she had a lot to say about one, the whole audience setup, and two, about the actual show. Just to summarize the video, she was in the audience and they, before the show even starts, they prompt you to do things. So for example, be like, we're just doing a test run, clap, laugh, cheer, and they actually use some of that stock footage in the late night show clips apparently. And then there are people that are paid audience members who are probably huge fans of Lilly as it is, but then they're paid to be there at most shows. But the one thing that she didn't understand is why those audience members that are paid and are going to be more enthusiastic than even the ones that just sign up to be audience members, because they're paid to do a job, which is cheer, laugh, and do all that stuff. So they're going to do it much better than people that just come to the show. She was wondering why they're all in the front row, because that's kind of obvious, because if someone focuses too hard, if in every clip you see the same people in the front row, you're going to start thinking, that's not a real audience, that's set up. So what she said is, when they clap or laugh, this doesn't incite everyone else in the audience to laugh and clap, because they're so like in a tight group over there. So people all the way on the other side are not going to realize like, oh, someone's clapping, let me clap as well. Because the thing is, paid audience members are usually sprinkled in the audience randomly so that when something happens, they will start laughing. And the thing is, even if you didn't necessarily find that thing funny, you will start laughing because they're laughing, or you'll start clapping because they're clapping. So usually when shows like the late night show have paid audience members, they'll be sprinkled through the audience so that they get a ripple effect of clapping and cheering and laughing, you know? I don't know why I'm using my hands so much. This isn't the case. She puts them in the front row, which I don't think this is like her decision making. I think it's someone else's decision making. It's just not good decision making in my opinion, and in Swell Entertainment's opinion. So then what happened is she said the shows were very below average. She says that Lilly is not a very good interviewer, that she should have worked on her interviewing skills before she took upon herself this role of having a late night show and being a late night show host, because a lot of that is interviewing people, you know, interviewing celebrities and stuff, and that apparently she's just not very good at it. And instead of improving her interviewing skills, what she ends up doing is just doing little mini games of these people. And if you're not a Lilly Singh super fan, you're not going to find this as entertaining as you would just a normal interview. So apparently her interviewing skills have not improved from the first episode to the last. And what has happened is Swell Entertainment has been at a few shows, and now she knows that they've wrapped up filming. And the thing is Lilly Singh going to be renewed for a new season of her late night show? Chances are no. Her viewership has actually gone down since the first episode, and that is because of the, I guess, repetitiveness of her jokes, the lack of interviewing skills when your main job as a host is to interview people, the stupid mini games, the weird setup of the audience. I personally don't think that her show is going to be renewed, and Swell Entertainment didn't really think that her show is going to be renewed, and that is because she hasn't learned from the first episode to the last, and she has had a lot of commentary on her show. She's had a lot of reviews come in, a lot of commentary videos come out, a lot of tweets, and the thing is, instead of taking that on and thinking maybe, just maybe, these people have made a correct judgment of my show and I should probably take that criticism on and try to make my show better because of that criticism, she's taken it on as hate. And you're less likely to accept hate as some kind of a thing to go by. Like if someone says something that you consider hateful, you're not really going to respect that opinion and try to go along with it and try to improve yourself based on that comment. But if someone makes very constructive comments on you, you're more likely to actually improve upon them. The thing is, Lilly doesn't consider anything to be constructive criticism. She probably won't even consider this video or Swell Entertainment's video as constructive criticism. She'll probably consider it as hate. She dumps it all in the same bag of people calling her derogatory terms, and then she bags it along with actual constructive criticism. She puts that all together into one nice hate bag that she will just not use to improve herself, because in her mind, the fact that she has, you know, 10 million subs and a book and a late night show is enough to not respect people's opinions. I think she thinks because she's made it this far on her own, she doesn't need the constructive criticism, which is such a stupid way to go through life, because I don't care what position in life you are at, you always need constructive criticism. I think just having someone analyze your content and tell you what they think about it can really help with how you do in life. You're never going to progress further if you just get stuck in this mindset of I'm always right, I've made it this far on my own and I'm always right. I just don't think it's healthy to think that way. You know, it's good that a YouTuber got a late night show. It's incredible. I think it gives us a good rep, but not when it's done this way. And I think if she was given a second season, it could be good if she actually took some of the criticism on board and tried to make the second season kind of what we wanted from her. But I think if she is given a second season, it will just prove to her that the criticism and the hate wasn't valid, and that everything that she's been doing correctly. And I don't think she will actually make the second season better than the first. I think it might actually end up being worse, because at that point you have a sense of like entitlement. It kind of boosts your ego. You think you've been doing everything right, so you stop putting in even less effort and you listen to the criticism even less, because at that point you're like, well, I've been renewed for a second season, so it must mean I'm doing something right. And I think it could definitely do the opposite of what we want it to do. So as much as I wish that she could, I don't hate Lilly. I think I would love for her to have a second season of a late night show and give a good rep for YouTubers in the mainstream media scene. I just don't think it will work out well, and her viewership is already going down. And if she's given a second season, I don't think she will take that on and be like, I'm going to use the second season to prove to people that I actually listen and I take on board criticism. I think she'll use that as an ego boost thing. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Those two videos are great. I'm going to put them in the description down below, and everything else that you need to find, including my social media. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything, comment down below, and subscribe, because I post videos every other day-ish. Hit that bell and you'll be notified when that's happening, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.